Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm back finally. I mean, it's been a little while, but welcome back to Commix, and this is episode 18. I feel like it's not. I feel like it's episode 19 or
We've
something.
definitely lost count.
Yeah, 19 or 20. I think we're episode 20. That's it. We're up on episode 20, man. Like even our notes are jacked up. There we go. Boop boop. Yeah. So welcome back, everybody. If you don't know, my name is Technique. I'm a host here for Commix, and I'm joined with Nighthawk Plays, aka Matt. And basically what we talk about is comics in general, everything, the world surrounding comics. It's video game, movies, TV shows, manga, manhwas, you name it. If it's a comic, even statues, pop figures, anything that surrounds the world of comics that can be related, it is talked about here because our main goal is to get you guys involved and want to be brought into the world of comics, whether you're a vet, whether you're a rookie or a brand new person, don't even know what a comic is. There's something for you in this show somewhere. Yeah. So how you doing, Matt? How's everything going, man?
I'm doing well, man. It's been a couple of weeks. It's been 2 weeks exactly. The last episode, for those of you there, you can go back and check it out. There's been podcasts about this. We interviewed Shadow Piper, Funko Pop's director of licensing and business development, but we dove into everything: comic books, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, and much more. But I'm doing good, man. We've definitely hit the hey, it's video game season. We'll go with that much. There's a lot of stuff going on, whether it be video game related, TV, movie, superhero related. There's a lot of things obviously going on in the theaters right now with Shang-Chi, Eternals coming out soon. It's good, man. We got a nice slate of things to talk about today. And I like your Spider-Man shirt, man. Red looks good on you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's there's a lot of news going on. I mean, there were some public scares. There were some, how do I put it? Some dramatic reads on stuff, especially with Spider-Man. And that ownership thing. People are just fighting over Spider-Man left and right. They understand it as a monolith, like it's just a monopoly on its own when it comes to comics, and people are just being really over the top about it. It's nothing that we have to really worry about when it comes to MCU, to be honest with you. After like doing a research back and forth, hopefully whatever is going on with that will be worked out.
Just one thing for the forefront, and we'll talk about it too. As far as today's episode go, chat, I just want to put it out there. We will be talking about What If. We are going to be not talking about the season finale. Since it was the season finale, we do want to give a little bit more breathing room for it. So next week, once we pop on, we'll be talking about it. So the last What If episode we're going to talk about is the one with Natasha and Clint Barnes with Ultron and that discussion, but not the last one that we just saw here. So that one we're going to stay away from, but there's still a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, especially I mean, Spider-Man, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I guess that's something you didn't want to happen. It's doing really well, unfortunately.
It's doing well because people go in there expecting something more, and then they come out pissed. I'm so happy about how they come out pissed about it, because they should be. That movie is trash. I don't care what people say. Sorry. What a waste. I hate when
Tell me how you really feel.
Milk stuff, dude. I hate it. Anyway, whatever. We'll get on that.
Yeah. But you had a nice week, man. Before we really get into it, you had a nice week. Well, 2 weeks, right? It was a lot of streaming, dude. You've dove into your hat, right?
Yeah. New World. Everyone knows, if they know me, I've been pumping that game up for 6 years, 4 years prepping it to everybody and preaching to everybody that the game is going to be good when they said it wasn't. It's popular. It's popping right now. I think the honeymoon period is going to be over this week coming for a lot of people. Because people burn themselves out early, as we know, every MMO, that's what happens. People go and rush in game, and they don't understand that this game is not a vertical progression period. It's a loop. When you go into the game for the first time and you get into crafting and you get your faction and stuff, that's when the loop starts. That's in game. Except it evolves with challenges and dungeons and more, content that opens up, but you're not going to be doing anything mostly past that right now. It's a brand new engine. It's a brand new system. It's a brand new game. People can't grasp that because they're so conditioned with, games being out for 25 years and still playing them. So it's really interesting to see what people grasp on it. It's still popular. It's still going to be very popular. The server queues have died down, thank goodness, and they expanded a lot. They added so many servers. There's hundreds of servers on there now, which they will be combining and giving character transfers and stuff like that. But been a good week for that. Played a lot of New World, some Battlefield, some Back 4 Blood. I still got games I still need to play, like Metroid Dread and Far Cry 6.
That just came out. Yep, both of those.
So much stuff. The announcement of Sora being in Smash Brothers.
That was dope.
Nickelodeon Brawl. I freaking love to death.
Yeah, you got to play that, right?
All the pros go ham in it.
You got to play it. You got a sponsored segment, right?
Yeah, a little segment on that. It was really good. It was really popular. It's great, man. It's a great time to be a gamer. We just have a lot more coming up. This is not even the big. This is a big month, but this is not the biggest month. Like November is going to be huge. We got Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker coming up. We have Ilion coming up at the end of the month. Kind of flows into November, which is gonna be a free to play MMO that has pretty much Black Desert with PvE, which a lot of people are looking forward to. And we got Battlefield coming up in November. Hopefully they fix the bugs. I had fun. I don't care what people said.
Speaking of Battlefield, Winter, I'm still in pain from having Frank drive us around. Like, look, man, Winter, you good?
Okay. Look,
dude, that was so much fun.
Helicopters in Battlefield work differently than helicopters in like Far Cry. The W button is to go up.
Yes, that was very weird.
Well, actually, no, the W button is your engine. So it's how fast the propeller spins.
Yeah.
So it shoots you straight up, and then like
you have to like
in your mind you're saying W is forward.
Yeah.
But you have to pull your mouse down because it's inverted controls. Mm-hmm. So it's all that weirdness, and you can actually flip the helicopter pretty easily. Yeah, but I know when to eject. That was so funny. Yeah, for those of you know, myself, Frank, and Winter, we played. Was it Thursday morning? I think it was, or Wednesday morning, whatever it was, and it was absolutely hilarious. It was so much fun. Yeah, I hope they do. Fix those kinks, because man, I did have an absolute blast playing it. That was a lot of fun. We played a good bit after, and I was having a lot of fun. It did get frustrating, like after a certain period of time, like late night, all the sweaty people were out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like camping locations, and they're like finding ways to do stupid stuff. But I mean, and all is still fun to me. I can't wait for Battlefield. It's one of my favorite shooters out there. It's got a lot of stuff. So a lot of stuff, and being involved. A lot of comic book games coming out.
Yeah,
Wolverine being talked about. And we have what is it? Something Suns.
Midnight Suns has been getting a lot of
that's coming
pop
out,
right now.
I'm not super hyped about it. There's just so much going on right now. I think if there was no other games coming out, I'd be like, Midnight Suns. But now I'm just like, I'll probably get it and play it maybe like 6 months down the line after it's out.
Well,
I mean, XCOM developers, they have problems in their games, dude, that require big major updates and patches. I mean, hell, XCOM is still buggy to this day. The last one that came out when it was like a couple years ago. So,
the game is coming out in March, at least for XCOM. So there is some breathing room. It's definitely out of the main thing. I mean, there are a couple of big games coming out in February. You do have Horizon Forbidden West. That's going to be a big one for me. I'm excited. I like that. I like Guerrilla and the graphics, and Aloy is it's a fantastic story. But Midnight Suns will come out in March. I think superhero, kind of like story driven stuff wise, video game wise, I think that's the next big one. We will get presumably some more information next week. So this is one of the topics we're going to talk about today. DC fandom, they've been hyping up trailers, getting more information out there for you. I hate you, DC. Call me, son of a.
They hit me up and I was like, I'll do it, and I don't remember anything from past that. I was like, literally, I don't even know. I think I'm missing stuff half the time because I'm just like, I've been so involved with New World.
Yeah,
I don't even know. My schedule's been all over. I did my calendar the other day and I don't even know. I do know that New York Comic Con is going on.
Yeah, New York Comic Con's going on right now. Yeah, it's at the Jacob Javits Center. It's back. It looks like it's pretty good.
To that I did not answer. Yay for me! I'm an idiot.
Get this man some more time.
Well, here's the deal. I don't think I would have gone anyway.
Well, I mean, I get it.
COVID and New World, like
COVID and New World.
That works very well together.
I mean, I haven't heard any big news coming out of it. I feel like the good thing about this though is, from what I've seen with Comic-Con, is that unlike PAX West, which looked like a garage sale, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It seems like the information that I'm seeing coming out there and a couple of pictures I've seen coming out there, it's good. Like, who is it? Who's the producers of Dragon Ball? They had a massive exhibit there where they brought out statues and photo exhibits and everything. To Nami Nation, there was a long line there for statues and collectibles. So it seems like, now maybe because it's New York and the mandates here are you can't do anything without being fully vaccinated. Maybe that's what it is. So I'm hopeful that, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, but seeing the pictures and the boots, like it's energizing that hopefully that sometime next year we'll be getting back into it. It's a right step forward for these in-person events.
They're doing really well.
Yeah.
There's people wearing masks. People are vaccinated.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lines that are very, very well
Proper,
maintained. There's a lot of adults. There's a lot of adults at Comic-Con, and I think that's a good thing to say.
Yes.
I mean, Man vs. Game is out there right now doing a huge event, and this is big for him. He's a big DC lover. He's a big comic book lover in general. Like,
Yeah.
he's out there. He's living his dream, man. You know, I know the Man vs. Game has gone. He had his moments where he just didn't, feel like he fits in places, but he does such a good job. HBM loves him. They use him for everything. He has been on multiple talks with Snyder and Justice League and what was the other one? Titans. He's done that as well. He's out there right now with Cyborg and a bunch of people from the shows, even Suicide Squad and stuff like that. So he's been out there working the DC Doom Patrol. For HBO Max at Comic-Con, which is dope. Like, so proud of you, man. That's really cool. He's got tons of pictures. You guys want to check out his account? It's just at Man vs. Game, VS Game. And he's got tons of pictures. He's out there living his life. He's smiling a lot, which is beyond me because, man, it's really
smiling's good. Yep.
See that. He's having a blast. And he's out there with old friends like Jordan Soma, and that's old school Twitch. And that's really good, and I just feel really happy for him because if anybody deserves to do this, it's him. He's been around the block for a long time, and yeah, it looks like I'm sugarcoating him up, but honestly, check out his stream, man. If you guys want to talk movies and stuff like that of that nature, Man vs. Game is a really good source for all that stuff, and he's just as knowledgeable on comic books. Yep. And Ingo Hanashimasu as well. So he speaks Japanese as well. So definitely, check him out.
That's not buttering or brown nosing or anything. That's your buddy, and you're proud of him, man. That's good. I'd say the same thing for you or other people. Like that's it. And having him out there for DC, that's good. Doom Patrol, like Lars said, it's a really good show. That's on its season 3 on HBO Max right now. I just think it's dope, man, that people that actually love the industry are in the spots. These are things that we've dreamed of, right? Like that was never possible. And seeing someone that's from our neck of the woods, our neighborhood, which is Twitch, out there doing something positive, where Twitch is in a lot of negative light right now because of all the weird stuff that's going on. People are trying to target Twitch left and right, and it's one of those things where it's a fresher breath of air. And so if you have a chance, check it out. And if you have a chance, stop by Man vs. Game's Twitter. Let him know that you appreciate what he's doing, because I think the more that we speak up about that, the more Twitch gets involved with these things. And it may not even be a Twitch thing. It goes as far as like the Twitch is that stepping stone, or that core that can branch off. Like with me in the Olympics, I never in the world thought I would even host the Olympics, period, in my life. But Twitch is that stepping stone. So anyway, long story short, there's tons of stuff happening. It's happening. It's fast, but not at the same time. So I guess we could just go ahead and get into. So we have some notes here. New comic announcements that Paul put us together. Where do you see the?
Wait, did I look at the wrong episode?
I think you may.
No, this is right. It says, "What if? How powerful is Ultron?" Really? Yeah, this is it. You probably didn't get the doc. He emailed it.
Sorry, chat.
I'll give this to you. There you go.
Oh, please open up in the right window. There we go.
He has some news about a Filipino American urban mythology series called Carmina, written by a Filipino. I don't know his name though. We can hopefully get his name. We'll probably look it up in a bit. Tributes to classic covers and variant collections. That's pretty cool. We always love to see our Filipino Americans coming out with. There's so many. Like this is like the year for Filipino lore and mythology and comics and shows and animes. Like they're coming out in full force. You know, when you hear the Philippines, you don't really think about comics and anime and cartoons or anything of that nature that's going to hit big time in the U.S. Yeah. It's all about islands and water and beautiful places, beautiful people, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's interesting to see so much culture coming out lately. We talk about it all the time in 2021 or 2020, culture's being like backseated and pushed to a corner. Yeah. And everybody's like, I'm better than you, so on and so forth. But it's really nice to see the uncomfortable stuff that people never think about be opened and people be more open-minded about things when it comes to comics and anime, because it does work really well. And I think that the Western market, us here, are starting to realize that this is something to really invest in. We'll talk about it later, but I mean, What If is a big standpoint for animation. We had Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and we have Star Wars Visions, which got a huge raging. I mean, not every show, but man, it's so good that we'll talk about it in a bit. But it's so that episode 1, The Duel, was so good that they're doing a TV series of it that was reported. Like I was like, dude, I watch this all day if they did a TV series. Boom. It's like the next day they were like, yeah, it's in production.
It's so good. Like, I gotta say, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, the mouse, right? I really like how they've been hitting their marketing beat, for instance, like with things like that, like Captain America season finale. Falcon Winter Soldier season finale. Hey, we're coming out with, Captain America. Like it's like right as something hits or right at the end of it, they're announcing something else, even though we kind of know about it with Loki too. Hey, Loki's coming back in season 2. What if is so good? What if season 2? I really do like how they've been doing that. And same thing with Star Wars as well, with Mandalorian coming out. Hey, Book of Boba Fett, which news on that, obviously, December 29th, Happy New Year. That's when Book of Boba Fett starts its season run. So I like how they've been doing those beats. And to go with your point, it's so crazy how if you look back 5 years ago, how things have changed when you talk about culture in comics and in TV and movies. Like you're seeing more Hispanic Americans, you're seeing more Asian culture come in comics and TV and movies. And I go back to, because of how significant and how in the moment it was, right? At the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, Anthony Mackie's speech, once again, I don't know if it was written or if it was him coming from the heart or whatever, because it was just that good.
I feel like you can't write that.
Right, I feel like it was him. It was like, go and what do they call that in acting? I forget.
Ad-lib.
Go and ad-lib this. Like if that, like it's crazy. Like you talk about that from 5 years ago. I feel like you would have all the stupid people on the internet. Why are they bringing that into my shows? I don't want to do that in my superhero shows. It's accepted now, and that is, it's sad that it's
Captain America.
It's sad.
They did it with Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's sad that it's
8 years ago. I think Miles Morales was born, so to speak, and people hated the idea of a black Spider-Man. They just hated it. And what I think the good point to that, Matt, is that the writers just don't give a crap anymore. They're like, I'm gonna jam it in your face and you just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah. And they address it in the comics now. They address it in the shows. And I think that's the big thing. Instead of just saying, hey, we're meeting a quota, people complain about diversity, we're just gonna stick a black person in this role or stick an Asian American in this role and be done with it. It doesn't go like that. They're like hitting on like real talks and real moments and real things that we have to deal with in real world. And it loses that sense of superheroism and a fantasy and becomes more of a realistic moment, where the cape and the mask becomes just accessories and the person is the one behind the mask is the one that's being standing out. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like T'Challa and Black Panther. People don't say Black Panther as often. They say T'Challa now. People don't say Captain America, as much or Falcon as much. They call it by the character's name, or even Bucky. They don't say Winter Soldier. They call him Bucky. It's like you're getting to know the person behind it. And now to where the fact that you see them on the streets, it's like Anthony Mackie. You're not calling him Captain Falcon anymore. So it's like people are. I even feel myself now being way more versed in using the actors' names.
Oh yeah,
because I feel like more of them are being put into the role than being written in as a character. You know, take it back to Game of Thrones, where that young man played
Kit Harington. Kit Harington, right? Jon Snow.
No, not Kit Harington, but the other one, the Joffrey. He played.
Joffrey, yeah.
And he quit acting because of that role.
Oh,
because
yeah.
he did such a good job that people
so hated,
harassed him to the points of tears.
I'm laughing, but
and
it's
even
sad,
thoughts of like self-harm. And he talked about it, and he said he had to have therapy about it because he doesn't want to act anymore when people feel him like that. And that's another thing with the guy from what was it? Harry Potter.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Malfoy, whatever his name is. Same thing. He just didn't want to act anymore.
The blonde Malfoy, yep.
Right. But I think now people are more like, okay, these real situations that they can relate to, they're kind of looking past that formula. And superhero movies back in the day, you say, oh, superhero movies used to do horrible in the box office. Like, they didn't really make their real money until they went on like VHS or DVDs, and it was like something that you watched when you had friends over or something. You know, now they're the biggest standpoint movies in the world, and everyone's getting involved. Even China is doing more mythological, wuxias, kind of like superhero movies, and it's hitting, and their own versions of stuff, and it's really cool. Even Japan. You see a lot more mecha movies and stuff like that. Like Pacific Rim is huge in Japan. And the funny thing is like stuff like that people just laugh at back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Yeah, they would
really
laugh
nice to see it.
It really is. It really is. That and along with mental health being more out there too. It's nice that we're able to talk about this because I mean, I'm like you. I'm a fan of superheroes, and being able to not just see it as a white guy, not see everything whitewashed. Like I love seeing other versions of Superman, for instance. And I know people are like, why are you making Superman black with Mike? I would love to see that because it's a combination of art. And let people live. Like it's
Not even that.
It's 2021 and it's sad. Yeah. What if? Yeah. There you go. Good.
Like seriously, what if Superman was black? Does he deal with the same drama that white Superman deals with? It'd be so interesting to be in our world for a minute.
Yeah.
A black man or a Blasian man or whatever having that's me.
I know.
Superpowers and having to deal with the world on your shoulders as that person. Like people, would they believe in you like they believed in the other Superman? Even if you bust your ass even harder, probably not. I think that's so cool. And I think if people really looked at that and it's like, hey man, now I get to put the cape on backwards and see what really happens. How does Superman do? It's not about who's better and who's stronger. It's like, how does Superman deal with that? Like, it's okay for Superman to swoop in and pick up some random lady off the street that's about to get hit by a car.
Don't save me.
But what if a black Superman swoops in? She's gonna hit him with charges later, talking about he sexually harassed her without her consent. Like, there's interesting points to be pointed out about this. It's like a superhero that comes in a bank, boom, and they're waiting for the bank to be robbed. I heard it was the thing. Do people cower because they think he's gonna rob the bank? Like, those are things that I think are so interesting to think about. And look at it because it's okay. Like it's okay for Matt to love Black Panther and want to dress up as Black Panther and be his version of Black Panther. Is that part is where the separation is starting to like come together, because I remember a lot of Black Americans in general were upset that a lot of white people were whitewashing even Black Panther. It's like because people were just like, we can't have anything. You still our TikToks, you still our superheroes, you still our dances. Like, what else do we get? What do we get? It's almost comical to a sense because the milk carton Olympics, or the milk, not milk carton, but the milk crate. You know how they would call it?
Yeah.
Bro, it sometimes, like literally, I'm gonna say this, and this is maybe not the show to say this, but Black people in general, or people of color, I should say, across the board, it's not even just Black people, we didn't come from much when being brought over here, right?
Yeah,
Or,
no, absolutely.
People's ancestors didn't come. So they made things the way it is. And we were having this conversation on my channel. And the funny thing about the milk crate thing is that is a hilarious thing that people made fun because it's a limited resource or something that people throw out, but they made it something. Now there's stores selling them shits for 99 cents. And then there's people making TikToks, that are not a person of color, that's trying to take from it because they hate it. The funny thing is they hate it so much. And my point is, people hate the idea of someone of color innovating, being something new, doing something new, and people liking it. It's the fact that they will take it, and they hate them so much that they will take it because they like it, but they can't admit it. And it's the same thing with superheroes. Nowadays, people are so in love with Miles Morales. It's ridiculous. But they hated him 8 years ago.
Yes, they did.
I'm talking about full-blown, the most racist stuff, like web yourself up and hang yourself. And I was like, dang, dude, like, are you guys serious? This is a character. They don't care. But Nicholas that created or helped created the new Static Shock.
Yeah.
People are all over that.
Yeah, everyone likes Static Shock.
Right.
Wait, are you talking about loving him or?
Yeah, loving him. Loving him. Yeah. Like, they want an anime series.
Yeah, they want everything with Static Shock. Yeah,
they want everything. And I knew this guy when he was like some little skinny dude up in New York that was like cosplaying Miles Morales because he was just as loving it as I was, And now he's like a big comic book artist. He's supported by Michael B. Jordan and so on and so forth. He did the album cover for Black Panther. It's just nice to see this acceptance come in, but we're not there yet. It is a long road. But it's nice to see that the road is actually being paved, and like people are living the acceptance. I mean, you could talk about even Pokemon with what's her name, Nessa?
Yeah.
People could not accept the fact that she was dark skinned, bro.
Yeah.
Literally, when she came out, there was a war on Twitter. People were making a monkey version of her. People were like whitewashing her. It was just out there, man. So it's seeing that where it was when Pokemon came out like 2 or 3 years ago to now. It's definitely a little bit more positive, growth on that. But I love, like you said, I love seeing different cultures because it's a beautiful thing when we can celebrate what others celebrate, and we don't have to celebrate it in the same standpoint. We can let them have their moments,
Yeah, I think what I love most about comics and superheroes and where we are now compared to 5 or 8 years ago with Miles Morales, right, is we're finally, we're it's sad. I've been trying to say this. It's sad that it's in 2021 and we're here now. Like, it shouldn't have taken this long, but you can't, it is what it is, unfortunately. I guess just because of the person I am. But what was I trying to say? The old guard is finally getting out. And now you're starting to see, and I guess it started about 8 years ago around the Miles Morales era, you're starting to see more people our age, a little bit younger, or slightly older too, coming in and starting for their stories to be brought out there. And it's not all, I hate all white Jewish people anymore, right? Because that was Marvel and that was DC, right? It was all white Jewish people. And
it's whatever Stan Lee was.
Yeah, it's you're getting more ethnicity in there, more flavor in there, and we're starting to see these intriguing stories and different stories out there, and that's we've started and we're on the precipice of something that I think the creativity within superheroes and comics, it's already on this massive incline, and it's just going to get crazier and crazier over the next couple of years. I mean, we're starting to see the breakout of the Superman mold and the Batman mold with Invincible and The Boys. I mean, talk about a show that's left field with a bunch of different things going on. But
it's relatable,
as far as like cultures, as far as cultures and everything, we're starting to see it more in comic books. With, I mean, you talk about Miles Morales. What about oh my God, Ironheart? Well, everyone hated that. Riri Williams, like. And now you're starting to see, now she has her own TV series coming out. You have Monica Rambeau, breaking news this morning. She's now in the process of working on her own deal for Disney Plus as well. Not so much, but actually something that I'm interested to see how it's going to be. Agnetha Harkness is going to get her own TV series on What If. So
why?
I'm excited to see that. I know it has nothing to do with culture, but that is exciting.
It's Twitter, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it literally is. I'm not going to give too much kudos to Disney. And the reason why is because Disney's going to do what makes Disney money. And that's it. They see the hype around people's excitements about seeing these people. Yeah. They're like, oh, you like a black Captain Marvel? Easy. New series. What else they liking? You know, tell me what. Keep your eye on Twitter, peeps. Like, honestly, it's literally how the internet is fluctuating right now. And it's I'm not saying that's smart.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
If you're a business, you go off of flavors, trends, just like
absolutely.
content creators. Hot moments, hot takes are a real thing. If people are making things out to be something like making memes, and there's so many talented people, making character models. I mean, we can even talk about Fork Knife up in here, where they finally made what's her face? My brain is all on New World. Ariana Grande.
Oh, Ariana Grande. Yeah, she had a whole concert in there.
There was a young woman who modeled her character design 3 or 4 years ago, begging Fortnite to put her in there. And soon as Ariana Grande saw it and was like, "This is cute," boy, did Epic jump on that junk. They were like, "Yo, code it, done. Here's a check for probably a little amount. Here's your like $5,000 that we're gonna make billions off of. There you go." And and now she's in the game, and now they're doing concerts and stuff. But again, kudos to Epic for going off of trends. Now they do concerts every other day inside of Fortnite, and it's huge. Some people don't even. I don't even see the gameplay anymore. It's all about concerts and they're working with like the thing they did with Martin Luther King. I mean, there was a lot of stuff said about it, but hey, it's cool.
They're trying.
But there is my point again. Developers, companies, big names, you name it, are now putting it in people's face so much that you can't ignore it, to where you either accept it or you don't. And most people just learn to accept it. And they're like, okay, you know what? The table's big enough for everybody. You know, and if they can eat from it, we can eat from it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like I said, we're not there yet. The acceptance isn't 100% there, but people are going out and watching the movies. If I don't know, 10 years ago, I'd tell somebody, if I was a director, I'm like, yo, Ryan Coogler is directing Black Panther. It's a whole black cast, black musicians, you name it, black everywhere. People would be like, I ain't watching that. You know, the people would come out for it. The black people of color would come out and watch it. Maybe you would, because you're a fan of comics. But there are people that weren't fan of comics that went out and watched Black Panther that did not go out and watch Iron Man.
So what's the difference between 10 years ago and now? Is it timing? Is it just how big the superhero spectrum has taken over the world, that it's like my wife will go out and see it because it is what it is? Is that what it is?
It's a couple of things. Real world problems, events, conversations that should happen in public are happening in these movies. They're more accepted in movies because you paid for it to sit down and watch entertainment versus going into a political debate. On top of that, it's a public setting that people are comfortable going with as a movie theater. There was some real stuff in Black Panther and I didn't think they were going to ever bring up. There was moments I looked to my right like, you hear that, right? You know, and there was when that scene when Michael B. Jordan was in the museum and he schooled that lady and said that awesome. You stole these artifacts and this, that, and the other. I looked to my right and this lady was like,
I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine what you felt, that because like I'm here, I'm like, oh and like you fought. I
went opening night. People were like, let's go in the theater, and I was just like, this shit about to go down, bro. Like, what, but the acceptance was there. Like, people were hugging. I was watching black and white people that don't even know each other was hugging, clapping fives, like giving dap, and I was just like, this is the power of entertainment over political standpoints and like rallies and shit, because you're automatically gonna feel that aura of hate and something of that nature, versus being in a theater where it is a movie that's created and putting these real world facts in there. You're sitting there and you're hearing it, and people are being civil, you know, in the same area. So 10 years ago, people got away with a whole bunch of stuff, like a whole bunch of stuff. And it could be the most raunchiest shit ever. and people automatically review bomb stuff and never gave things a chance.
Oh, God,
you know, Marvel Universe has created that standpoint. We watched all the big, let's say, people of non-color actors rise up the ladder. Robert Downey Jr. being the first, so to speak. You know, go from drugs to hugs.
Yeah.
You know, in his roles. But if that was a black person, shit. Wesley Snipes, he's still suffering. And it was bankruptcy, debt, whatever, taxes, evasion. That man's still suffering, you know? So it's just like, it's the idea of it all. But I love the way we going to where I would love to walk in, Matt, and see your son pick up a Black Panther comic and understand what's going on and accept it and know that this universe, this world that Wakanda, it's okay to be loving it, you know? You don't feel like you're alienated to love something of that different culture. And I think that's the biggest thing. I absolutely freaking loved. I went and saw Black Panther 4 times in the theater. Seeing those kids of all different colors, ages, girls, gender, it didn't matter. Dressing up as Black Panther, it made my night, dude. Jumping up as Spider-Man, made my night. You want to be Peter Parker and you black? Go for it. You want to be Miles Morales, you white, Asian? Go for it. It doesn't, and I love the message, and it took Stan Lee a while, okay, to get there, because Stan Lee ain't innocent.
I mean, he was a product of his time, but the one thing that I will say about that, though, and I don't know if it's silly of me, I guess, to say, but he was almost 100 years old, right? He did change. People can see and change. It took a long time. I'm okay with that. Right? Because it's a product of what they grew up on. It's a product of what they lived by. It was their parents. It was everything. But they saw it and they changed.
Matt, I'm not going to hate you for what people did to black people back in the day, because I know that you're a good person, and you know, you see and you grow and stuff like that. Your ancestors probably thought differently. Who knows? But at the end of the day, and I think that's what the thing is, and it's both sides needing to change the idea of it, right? It's both sides, but we're not going to ignore the fact that it didn't happen, or that it did happen. We're not going to do that. Yeah. But, you know, I think those movies, that time of Black Panther, seeing the whole internet freaking go ham, it was awesome. For Black Panther. Awesome. Bro, I don't think there'll ever be a moment in history that's going to feel that damn good. Unfortunately, when Chadwick Boseman died, it hit me hard, because he was one of those gaps that showed that he was a real person that interviews. This man would chop down interviewers, bro. Like, if they asked the wrong question, this man had no problem with shutting them down. He's smart. But seeing the internet literally grieve at the same time for this man was powerful. Seeing people watch What If T'Challa and like literally like posting about it the moment it went live, and just saying, I just can't wait to hear his voice again. Of black, white, Asian, it didn't matter what color it was. Seeing people celebrate Shang-Chi together, that's some real shit, bro. Like, that's where I want comics to be. That's where I want anime to be. Yeah. All this nerd culture, I talk about it all the time. I did a show on Twitch called Get Into It. It was like a tester pilot to see, hopefully it goes through. Seeing nerd culture bridge these gaps, something that was shunned upon and looked upon as ill, nasty. Oh my God, you're probably a neckbeard in a dungeon type thing. Seeing nerd culture be cool. It's just funny how we switch. And you said, how's the difference in 10 years ago? Dude, 10 years ago, wearing baggy pants halfway off your ass was cool. Now people wear tight ass pants about to cut off their blood supply to their baby makers. But it's cool. You know, people accept it. I'm serious. It's dope.
Talk about a 180.
It's a 180.
God. You went from Janko like bell bottom craziness to
I'm gonna cut your blood. Young know what I'm talking about. It's a love situation. You, man. Boy, nerd culture is so accepted, man. I have these talks all the time in my chat about like Saturday morning cartoons and stuff, and where things were, how people need to be grabbing their kids and setting up a Saturday morning cartoon with them. With pulling like Netflix and Hulu. We have all these things that we can restream these cartoons for our kids, make them feel what we went through, and then show them where you at today, and make them love being a child, and get them away from all these damn reality shows that pitch these stupid ass moments. Like, this is why comic books and like cartoons and anime and mangas and stuff, like letting your kid be a kid and grow up and like make their choices, bro, man, we had it good, and you know, in our generation, like growing up in this and made us who we are today. Yeah, you know, I'm damn near almost 40 years old, and I'm sitting here talking comic books, baby. I'm good with it. I'm playing video games for a living. I'm blessed.
There you go. You are.
You know, so I don't know, man. Like I said, I want to see more Asian Americans get up there and direct their own films. I'll take it even further. I want to see Black Americans, Asian Americans direct white films. I want to see it because I want to see those twists and turns and seeing how the views come into play. Because man, Denzel Washington, brilliant mind, fought for so long. Angela Bassett still out there busting her ass to this day doing it. It's just a lovely thing to see, man. And I want more people to get involved with it. And comic books happen to be the one thing that's doing it right now, you know? So
yeah, and it also comes back to when I think of comic books, I mean, never mind, scratch that. Never mind. Also, hi Khan and everyone else in there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Also, shout out to Khan. He was just on Professor Broman podcast 141. Go check that out.
Nice.
It was an awesome watch. It's on VOD and podcast. If you go out there, amazing artist. Did a lot of my emotes. Actually, all my emotes, now that I'm thinking of it. He's fantastic. And we got to get you on here one day, man. And actually, I kept on pointing, and I don't want to forget about this. Because you brought up Wesley Snipes. Did you see what Marvel India did? Marvel India may have potentially leaked when Blade is coming out.
Great.
Someone definitely got fired. Let's just say that.
This is not the first leak they did.
They did that too. They did that too. So apparently, it was one of the unnamed titles for 2022, which we were talking about, and I didn't think it was going to happen. So it could get pushed. Obviously, anything could get pushed at this point.
I mean, it could be old too.
Yeah, but it's apparently slated for October next year.
I heard that Marvel be throwing out fake stuff to catch people too.
Which is smart. If they started doing that, that is the smartest thing ever.
I mean, that came from a source. So, you know, I was told don't believe it until it comes out the Marvel's mouth. Granted that Spider-Man link was legit. But not all of them were.
What did I see? You know it's legit if there's copyright takedowns.
Oh yeah. Sometimes they copyright takedown anyway.
Oh, they'll just copyright.
Even the fake Spider-Man ones were taken down.
Oh, they were. I didn't see any of the
Tobey Maguire and all of them in it. Yeah, taken down.
Interesting. Yep. I mean, what company would ever throw misinformation out there, right?
The character likeness and stuff like that, and false. I forgot what it's called. Some junk and some law jargon that they stripped them boys. So
that sounds about right.
Lucky you don't get sued for that shit. You gotta be careful. But anyway, moving on. What if continues to impress? We're not gonna talk about the season finale. I haven't even seen it yet. We're gonna give you guys a week or so to get into it. But what if part one with Ultron in it, the Black Widow and Clint? Oh man, it's good. You know, it's good.
They just keep on getting better each episode. Even the ones that were they're just keep on getting better and better.
How do you feel? I love when villains have the upper hand.
Yes,
I love it. It's you have people that are so powerful, dude. The fact that Thanos walked out and got his ass clapped in 2 seconds,
dude. I love that they did that. I absolutely love that they did that.
My man didn't even get to raise a finger. Give me that. Like, damn.
Oh, what are these? It was so good. Because it's like that. That's the conversation that we have, right? Why wouldn't Vision just do that? Why?
Second season's been confirmed, young. You good?
Yeah,
it was confirmed the day before the release.
Yeah,
so we good.
Yeah, that's why. So there is going to be a second season. There is from what I read, I didn't read what it is. There is a end credit scene. So there was an end credit scene of the first episode. Then there hadn't been any, I believe. There is an end credit scene for the season finale. So if you are watching the season finale or you haven't yet, make sure to go check out all the way to the end or scrub to the end. There is a second season. Also, did you read the news that there was actually a scrapped episode that we were supposed to see that we didn't see? So that's probably going to tie into the second season as well. We don't know when the second season is coming out, but just like Loki, there is a second season. But man, I love, like you said, we're so conditioned to seeing the hero win at the end, or even when they win, there's like a slight little loss, but it's nothing major. seeing that, especially like how you brought up where Vision just goes, interesting. Like I love that so much.
It's very interesting to me because the Infinity Stones are powerful.
Yes.
But cosmic powers are more powerful. But you put Infinity Stones in hands of the right person, the right entity, jeez. Like, ever so thinking ahead, computing. It's like technology and a great mind combined is a dangerous thing. And I loved the theme and being consciously aware. And I love how the both consciously aware beings are the keys, you know? And it was very interesting to me. And I'm going to stop there because I don't want to go any further because I haven't seen the finale. But being an artist myself, seeing the animation pull through so beautifully, and it's very hard to get a cell shaded CG in the mix with 2D art to mesh well together and have that sort of fluidity between each other, because there's a lot of times where people can't stand, especially anime watchers, can't stand CG. They avoid it immediately, like, it's going to be stiff, people are going to look unnatural, the fight scenes are not going to look as great. But damn, did they handle that junk well. Like, kudos to the animation department, man. Marvel's coming up because Marvel always struggled with animators.
Yes.
Like, just struggled. But man, ever since Into the Spider-Verse, they found something that clicked, and now I'm starting to see that Marvel style. I'm starting to like be able to call it that, you know?
That Marvel style.
DC,
yeah, you're right.
When you see it, you know people that work on DC. You're like, oh, that's DC animator. Or like Invincible. I was like, oh, I know who that is. I know the studio that is. It's easy. That's an easy pick. You know, so it's very interesting to see.
But I like that, and having that cosmic entity fight too between the Watcher and him powering up, and like how you said, how that
was a Dragon Ball Z
that was so good.
1,000 times through. I don't care. Well, they literally took Dragon Ball Z with that one. He's like, you cannot begin to understand my
my power, or like my.
He said something about like. It was something dealing with like mind or something. I can't remember what he said.
He has like how vast my something or something. It's that it was that goes back to it too. For a cartoon, the writing is so good.
God, that line gave me chills. No, it wasn't. Was it resolved? I don't think it was resolved. It started with a W. It's like I can't remember, but that. Oh my God, bro! I went ham. I could not believe it. I was just like, huh. It's a Dragon Ball Z moment. That power up, and he's just like, oh man, that shit I lived for in Dragon Ball Z. I would sit there and watch a whole 3 or 4 episodes of Goku screaming, you know, and be okay with it.
Yeah, the filler episode still absolutely worked.
Maybe it was resolved. I don't know. It was something along those lines, but whatever it was, I was like, oh shit, he's got the guy's ass whipped. So you know, it was
made him think.
You know, he got his ass whipped. But hey, man.
And where he ended up, where he ended up at the end, you saw that foreshadowing,
that self check.
Yeah, you 100%. Oh, absolutely. But
100%. And then, bro, the one thing I loved about the animation, because I'm big into fight animations. Like I take, I'm martial artist all my life. So seeing Marvel nail the fight scene,
oh, so good.
In my head, I'm like, bro. Use the biggest weapon you got. That big ass head. He straight up headbutt that one.
Boom.
I was like, yes, yes. Like it was for me. It was for me 100% seeing the headbutt go through. So I loved it.
Jeffrey Wright. Why is he so good in everything he is? Jeffrey Wright, the voice actor and actor, right? That plays in what was that show on HBO with everything? What was the show on HBO? Westworld.
Oh, Westworld.
The brief scenes that we saw him in Batman, the Batman that's coming out as Commissioner Gordon. This, like everything he touches, it seems like he's just a talented artist. Like obviously massive kudos to him. One thing that I want to bring up is, did you catch that when Ultron attacked Uatu the Watcher and started bringing him in through the multiverse? He punched him through the multiverse.
And then beat his ass on the ground through multiples.
Did you know? Yes, that was a cool scene too.
That was awesome.
Did you see that one of the universes people believe, and I actually believe it too, that, and I really wish I could get the name of it,
The first one or the
hold
first
on.
one you got
Wait. That okay. That if the background you see him going through all them, that one of the universes and skylines, the city skyscapes is apparently Mustafar from Star Wars, because they see Darth Vader's castle thingy, like it's an exact replica of a background. So they're trying to tie Star Wars in the one universe within the Marvel universe is apparently Star Wars, because when you're breaking through, when he's punching him down from the sky, not when he's on the ground beating the crap out of him, that one of the background skylights is Mustafar, and Darth Vader's Centaurium, or whatever you want to call it, is 100% visually seen in the background of one in it, and it's all red and black and everything.
I don't know, dude.
Is that a Patton Oswalt rant on Parson? Patton Oswalt's amazing. That scene is hilarious, by the way. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like
That's a bit far fetched.
Yeah,
but I mean, you never know. It's Disney; they can do whatever they want. I don't think so.
Yeah, I love how this is canon, because it makes us think how they're gonna do this. I mean, you have
they never visited it.
Yeah,
they always talk about the multiverse, but there was never the shattering of universes. There was never the what if point of being in, like, literally depending upon people in those multiverses to protect the multiverse, to where the cosmic entities need help. I mean, granted, that was the thing with Spider-Man. I mean, obviously Spider-Man went cosmic and helped those entities in certain standpoints, but it was never really delved in this much, you know? So it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting the, like, Avengers of the multiverse, kind of. Is that a thing in the comic books?
Protecting the multiverse without knowing. And then those that do know, that's the big question. Those that do know, how are they going to play a role? So I don't like dissecting stuff too much, because I don't want to be right about things, because I like being surprised. I'm starting to try to turn that leaf and not like literally like sit there for hours breaking apart frame by frame and marking buildings and like comparing them to comics.
Yeah.
But I like the route that Marvel's going. I think What If is a great breath of fresh air, and it's something that kind of distracts us as they need us to be right now. For them to really, really plan. Now, the bad thing is that What If is so damn good. How are they going to raise the bar? I mean, Loki was great. So What If was super, and like, how are they going to like really bridge those gaps together to make it great? I like Am I crazy to say I like Thor and What If more than I like our Thor?
Yo, it was so good. I loved seeing that party Thor. It was awesome. He was just like, you could tell, like we talked about this with Chadwick Boseman, he was the most excited to play this role. No, it was. He was one of the ones that 100% came back.
Too perfect.
There's only a handful of characters that wasn't them. Yeah. He
did so good.
Like, I could just picture him just literally just enjoying himself behind the microphone, like essentially partying it up as Party Thor. Like, you could tell he was having the time of his life recording this session. Like it was so good. And that was Natalie Portman, I believe, and Kat Dennings.
When it comes to planning the direction of it, they were like, "Hey, Chris, what would you do if you could do this?" He's like, "Party!" Like, Thor likes to drink. He was fat, you know. At one point, like, I wonder if Chris had a thing. I could probably ask. Through Bobby and see. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I don't know if it probably won't tell me nothing, because maybe it's even like locked up NDA, blah blah blah, or whatever. But
true.
I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'll just ask and be like, "Hey, can you ask Chris about this?" And you know, we have a show on Commix. If we can like use our excerpt.
Hey, Chris, you want to come on, Chris? Hey, Chris, what's up?
We'll see.
We'll talk working out.
He definitely won't be able to go on the show. I know. But if I can get like a quote or something,
that'd be awesome.
About doing it, I'll shoot him a message to see what I can do. I hate doing that, because like,
it's weird.
You know,
I know
it's kind of weird. It's like, I don't want my friend to think I'm.
It's like, hey,
Chris.
I know. Yeah, it's what I 100% feel on that one. I know what you know.
Feeling.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been there. You know.
Yeah.
So, whether it's good intentions, but it'd be nice to have.
Yeah, but like,
fantastic job. Love it. I love it. I would love for it to break off and be its own thing eventually down the road, and continue with the animation. just because I'm selfish and I love animations. That's
Yeah,
just me.
it's like you said, from WandaVision to Captain and Falcon and I keep wanting to say Captain America, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know
they changed the name at the end.
to Loki to now What If? Did I miss anything? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah,
WandaVision.
it's like everyone just keeps on getting better, and it's I don't have an expectation for Hawkeye. The trailer was fantastic. I didn't expect myself to enjoy it that much, but it's Die Hard. Exactly. But like they keep on just hitting the nail on the head with it, and I'm happy to see Marvel finally get that good since like good animation since TV series since like X-Men and things like that. It's been a long time. I know we had Into the Spider-Verse movie wise, but like having this now and being it branch off and it's canon, and now they're going to have a season 2 and how they're going to be in the longer form storytelling of the overall multiverse. It's good, but taking What If as itself, it's the animation, like you said, the storytelling, the actors loving what they're doing. It's so
icing
cool.
On the cake would be, I'm telling you right now, people are hyped now. But if Marvel comes out the gate and slaps down an X-Men and nails that shit, it's game over.
Oh, it's game over.
Everybody, bro. Like, people are sitting in wait. They're happy and they're hyped, but they're waiting for that X-Men announcement. Like, there's people that literally ask me, Frank, where is there anything in there about X-Men? Like, do you see any Easter eggs? I'm like, the Easter eggs are all over the place, bro. Like, we just need to see how they put it together. And like, if they knock X-Men out the park, it's a good day for Marvel. They're gonna make so much money. I want a brand new Storm. I really want a Storm origin just to start it off, because I mean, Motherland, you got Wakanda. There's a lot of bridges that can be formed right there. She was literally one of the first X-Men. Like this, it'll be so great, you know, just to see a story from her angle. And definitely don't. I'm sorry. You know, you're a beautiful woman, Halle Berry, but you know,
they're gonna reset everything.
I want somebody else. I mean, even if you want to take Angela Bassett and throw it in the Storm outfit, I'm here for it. But you know, I actually think she'd be a fantastic Storm. Damn. But yeah, so I honestly think that it's a really cool area to be in. Marvel and Disney are now just having fun making films, and that's what a great place to be in. They don't have to prove anything to anybody.
If it's not Spider-Man, or we know Spider-Man is number 1, excuse me. We know Spider-Man is number 1. Is X-Men number 2?
Want to hype meters? I think X-Men might be hyper than Spider-Man at the moment, because people want this is a really weird analogy, and this is, you ever know, all right, so you ever heard of the talk that men have about, it's gonna sound weird.
I know where you're going with this already. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. Let's say you're a man and you love women, right? The idea of a woman being in a sexy outfit really gets us hyped, because it's the idea of not getting everything that you want right then and there. It's the play on words, the play on like visuals, or like the imagination, right? Same thing with X-Men going on right now. People know where they want X-Men to be, but the fact that it's not released yet and the potential that it can have, I think people are way more hyped about X-Men than Spider-Man. I don't like, Spider-Man's a big deal, but X-Men right now, I'm gonna tell you right now. Yes, so young gets me. It's not. I wasn't trying to be like. So I've been very careful, because I want people. This sex is way. But at the end of the day, dude, if they showed up at the end of any credit scene, it could be the worst. It could have been Venom and Carnage, piece of crap. If they showed Wolverine's claw, it'd have been game over. Like, that's all you have to do. Show Wolverine's claw. Show like lightning coming from a hand. Showing a card that lit up. Yeah. In the sense of Gambit. Boy,
I mean, look at the Wolverine trailer. Like you kind of knew going into it. You just get the claws. That's it, and it's a Wolverine video game coming from Marvel and Insomniac. Like you just do something like that. It's wild. It's gonna go insane. I mean,
that movie could come out 5 years from now. People still be hyped. Yeah. Like, it's to that point now. I think literally everyone I talk to, I don't think they're as hyped. They're hyped, but they're not as hyped the thought of X-Men, because they know Marvel's gonna hit everything else. people are so convinced. This has been years of conditioning, 10 years plus, 11 years plus of conditioning that Marvel knows what they're doing in this department. Great.
Yeah.
X-Men, they picked it up, took it from the child named Fox, put it down.
They took it, they bought it. They're like, you're mine now.
They're taking their time to build it. That's funny because Fox never took their time. They just kind of like sort of ride the hype train.
Yeah.
Marvel's like, they know they have a trump card. I hate using that word. They know they have a card, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's like,
they got the
Uno.
Uno.
Probably release X-Men at any point in time. We know we have a backup plan. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
So I hope, honestly, I know I talk about Storm. I hope there's a Gambit movie. I want them to bring a character that everyone loves, that never got a spotlight, and nail the hell out of it, like they did Logan with Old Man Logan.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, Wolverine is there, but Hugh Jackman was always a decent Wolverine, but he nailed Old Man Logan.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
so good at it.
He was perfect.
And people almost forgot about every other Wolverine film ever made when Old Man Logan came out. So I think Gambit would be dope.
Well, that's actually a great point, right? Because if you think about that, it took him a while to do it with Wolverine. Obviously, another big criticism from the Wolverine movies was Deadpool.
Rated R.
Absolutely horrific. Ryan Reynolds, everyone wants him. They did it. They got it out there. Everyone loved it. You brought up Gambit, which is funny because you're talking about the Wolverine movie of franchises. Gambit was in it with Taylor Kitchen, I think was the actor's name. And everyone was like, no. So talk about a full reversal, and they're able to get it right now that it's in they bought it out, and now that it's in the Mouse's headquarters.
And directors are ham up there. It's just like
I would actually
you bring out a character that not everybody is familiar with, and you make them grow. I mean,
you know who would be a cool story that I really loved from the comics and the TV show that I think could have a really cool story too, that had no justice in the movies. Even though there was a lot of plot points around them, they just didn't do it well. I want to see Rogue, actually. I feel like the character Rogue's portrayal in the movies
she's never been portrayed correctly.
It hasn't been right. I would really love and talk about Gambit and talk about Gambit,
bro.
The dichotomy between Rogue and Gambit too. That story, like that would be awesome.
A Gambit movie, a Rogue movie. Introduce them both, put them together, then form X-Men around that, bro. We're Gucci. Like. Nobody actually got a real Rogue because Rogue
she's badass. She's badass.
Like one of the most powerful individuals in the whole comic universe that people don't give credit to at all. Not even the freaking film directors to give her credit. Made her seem like whiny baby. Rogue don't play. I would love to see a hardcore Rogue out there touching people and beating the crap out of them. Oh yeah, the Rogue in old comic, I want to say like late 90s, early 2000s, didn't take no guff.
Yeah,
that girl was in it. I mean, I remember when she beat the crap out of Wolverine through twice, thrice, and back and forth. Man. Beat knowledge in his head. Like
so good. So good.
Get it, baby. Like she's good, man. She's good. And then the fact that she destroyed Wanda. Bro, please.
Oh my God, that'd be
destroyed Wanda.
Do you think?
I get so hyped.
We're talking about a lot of stuff. Obviously, Marvel is growing exponentially before our very eyes over the past 10 years or so. How do I want to say this? Do you think they're doing too much? Like let me explain this. So we were talking about What If, Ultron, how they're part of the. And like I said, we're not talking about the season finale yet, but you're talking about them being canon. You have, Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger now. You have Star-Lord T'Challa and Thanos Gamora, right? Or not Thanos Gamora, but like we know she's part of it. Like you got that story. You have Kang lurking in the background for a big bad. You have whatever they're doing now Doom, with Blade. Definitely. You have Fantastic Four coming out. You have the Celestials. You have the Eternals. Like there is a lot of stuff going on. Are you a little bit worried that there was a linear path for phase 1, 2, and 3? We knew what was happening and we knew what was going, but now it's kind of just like. But
I think it's perfect. It's themed. That's what the multiverse is. It's at the end of the day, it's 100% themed. And take it easy, buddy. And when I think What If is there to explain how the multiverse works to those that don't get it. That's why I think
that last episode was fantastic, actually. That with the Watcher behind the door, right? Like that Matrix, kind of thing. It was kind of behind everything. That's actually you kind of saw it that way. I like that. That was good.
I think that's what it is. It's literally there for us to have a guide to tell us what the multiverse is and how it can be very, very dangerous to mess around with this. Kind of like hammering the nail into the fact that what happened with Loki is very serious.
Yeah.
Even though Loki was a comic release, most of the time it's very serious. And I think that What If is there to really, really put it in our face. And then when we get into the next phase, we'll visit worlds like we did before. There'll be a linear path just like before. But when in the back of our minds, we know that there's a lot of messed up stuff going on.
Yeah.
And we'll start to see it a little bit in Spider-Man, a little bit in this, a little bit in that. And then once we hit Captain Marvel, I'm pretty sure we'll see a big burst of stuff happen with that. And we get into Thor and whatever's going on with that, because Thor's on a god level, cosmic level of oh my god, this stuff is happening, this is real. And then we'll hit a solid point where everybody's going to come together, bigger
convergence,
than Endgame, bigger than Infinity War. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a thing where the Ultimates come out, everybody comes out, and there's going to be a big battle. Fantastic Four is going to have their whole storyline. We
still haven't had. We got teased at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. We still don't have Adam Warlock, and he's a massive entity as well. Like,
yep.
That's the one thing I'm getting a little bit worried about, because I've seen it in business happen so many times where you start stretching yourself thin, you start bringing yourself out there in multiple directions, and it just all implodes on you because you have too many cooks in the kitchen, I guess it's a bad example, but you have too many things going on and it's going out there. But I know movies are different.
Theaters. If it's only movie theaters, yes. But the fact that we have series on TVs that are movie theater quality, that are an hour an episode or so, I think we're fine. Like my thing was, are we not doing enough when we were in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? Because I was like, we have all these directors that are just nailing it across the board. Why we got to wait so long for a Marvel movie, So now that I think people started to lose fizz on each story between, because there was such a long break in between these movies, and people were just kind of like forgetting about it and saying, oh, I'm not really that hyped about it. When they come out, they're hyped, and then they're like, I don't know, and they're hyped. Now it's like we're getting a setup where we're really being constantly reminded and refreshed, and their breaks are now like anime fillers that are actually good. Like What If is there in between that, oh my god, what the heck is happening with Loki moments. Now people are just like, wow, What If, this is great, yay, uh-oh.
My son just came up behind me and started talking to me. I'm sorry, it just literally freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver, he's breaking down. Oliver, do you want to say hi really quick? Really quick, you can say hi, okay? I'm talking to Frank. We're talking Spider-Man. You want to say hi to Frank? We're talking Spider-Man. You want to say hi to Frank?
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Look at his shirt. He has Spider-Man on. Is that Spider-Man? Is he your favorite?
Hi.
Yeah, I'm working. You got to take a nap now, buddy?
Hi.
You saying hi, people? Say hi, people.
Hi.
It's so cute.
All right. Are you being good for mommy? Are you being good for mommy?
Hi.
All right, buddy. I'm going to have you go back. I'm sorry, everybody. I love you. All right. Who's your favorite superhero? Spider. It's Superman, Oliver. It's Superman. What are you doing? It's Superman.
All right. Yeah, that's right. You got the Spider-Man. I love it.
All right, you're gonna go back to mommy now, okay, bud? And then we'll play in a little bit, okay? I know. Thank you, buddy. I love you. I love you, mommy. All right, sorry.
A do replay.
And there we go. That, ladies and gentlemen, is
it's a future superhero.
Yeah.
Hey.
And he just stole something. GG's. I don't know if he literally just grabbed something from like right over here. I wonder if that got caught. I wonder if that got caught. Man. The hand grabbing it. Is my mic still open? No, it's not. Okay, because I know it gets really loud when I open it up all the way. But that's cool. Anyway. But we have a little bit of a break now, right? So What If is at the end.
Tiny one, yeah.
Little bit. We do have, as far as like Marvel and DC goes, I think it's, let me bring it up, the calendar up over here so it doesn't come up over there. 1, 2, 3 weeks. Then Eternals comes out, unfortunately only in the theaters. And then what is it? November 24th. How can I forget? It's my wife and I's anniversary. We have Hawkeye. So there is a little bit of a break now. There's no Star Wars stuff coming out, so I don't think there's any DC stuff from my knowledge, with the exception of next week, which is DC Fandom, which we should get some good information out on. But we're going to get a little bit of a lull right now. So comic books are going to be big. I assume there's going to be some news out there, but we definitely had a little bit of a long ride there with a little bit of everything coming out. And now this is going to be a little bit of a little hiatus. I think this is the longest that we've had. It's usually been like 2 weeks. This is, I think, this 3 or 4 week is going to be the longest.
And it's okay. You know, I think people need a breather right now. I think we've been hit with so much like moments, like, you know, in a row. I think now is the time for people to kind of woosah, think about some things, and like now it's a hype meter building, you know. But like I said, I don't know. It's a great time to be a comic book lover and movie lover, and I mean pretty much anything nerd culture in general, because I mean, we're just scratching the surface right now. We're not even digging deep yet. Like, we thought that the first few phases, you know, the Avengers phase was great. We're about to get slapped with some real stuff soon, and it's gonna be great. And it only opens the door for DC to do better. And I think that's the celebration that I'm having, is the celebration of all comics and stuff. And we talk about this when it comes to MMOs. It's like, I may say that, you know, I may talk some junk about DC is because I'm upset and I want them to do better, man. Like, I want them to really see that this is really important. Look what Marvel's doing. And now that DC's starting to kind of pull those numbers that they should on certain things, you know, and getting better and better. It's great. But anyway. Yeah, I mean,
speaking of which, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to switch segments, but if you want to say something, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you're right. Obviously, James Gunn with Suicide Squad. We got a couple of video games coming out. The past week, I would say, give or take, they've been really hitting hard DC on DC Fandom, which is next week. Saturday, I don't know when it starts, but we know that we're going to get more Gotham Knights information. We know that we're going to get some more Rocksteady, Suicide Squad, Cool to Justice League. We've gotten through one of the teaser videos that they put out, I mean, Black Adam's face, which is just Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So we know we're going to get that. We know we're going to get some Shazam information. We're going to get apparently the new Young Justice series on HBO Max, the second season of it, the new series. We're going to get more information for that. So I hope, like you said, that with the last two things that or one thing that they just did, and the Suicide Squad redoing it, and the hype surrounding this new version of Batman, the Batman with Matt Reeves, they're on that move up again.
I just need them to stay away from Batman, man. Like, let this be it, like, for a while. Like, it's just it's literally, if I was not a DC, didn't know anything about comics, I'd look at DC and be like, dude, is it only about Batman? Like, goddamn, you know, it's like Batman every day. You know, it's like every movie that comes, Batman this, or he's involved in it some way, mentioned some way. I understand Batman's a really big part of DC, but man, it feels like he's the only universe that exists in DC. It's just like, it's all surrounding Batman. Like, I would love Green Arrow to be more fleshed out than what the TV series did. I would love to see Flashpoint is way better than Batman. I wish they would really push on these thoughts about that and get the Flash and really nail the character.
Well, that's apparently the whole theme around the Flash movie that we should get more information on as well.
Hopefully.
I mean, that's why you have Ben Affleck's Batman in there. That's why you have Michael Keaton in there, which I just thought about this. I wonder if they're actually going to be Batman, if one of them's actually going to be Thomas Wayne instead, and they actually do Flashpoint. Like, I wonder if they're sending out misinformation, that they're actually not replies. They are Batmen, right? But one is actually Batman, but the other one is actually Thomas Wayne. I wonder if they're going to do that and actually play out because it seems like it is a whole Flashpoint, because they're all going to do that. But they've been saying Michael Keaton is Batman, but they haven't said Bruce Wayne, and they said Ben Affleck is Batman, but they haven't said Bruce Wayne with it. So I wonder if one of them is actually going to be Thomas Wayne.
I mean, Ben Affleck has to be Bruce Wayne, right? Like,
based
doesn't
on
this,
based
doesn't
on
this
Justice
tie
League
into
and
like
everything.
everything else that he was involved in? Like I don't.
Well, apparently this movie is gonna flesh everything out, so we'll see.
Hopefully, it fleshes
I hope they
everything
do.
out literally, and we can start over. Like
Yeah.
honestly, dude, I'm so sick of it. If you're a DC fan, or if you're trying to be a DC fan, you have no idea what direction to go
Yeah.
at this point. It just, you don't know who to believe, what to like, who to fall in love with, who not to. Like you just don't.
Yeah.
The only person that I say fall in love with is Gal.
Fantastic.
Because at least she's consistent. I mean, that's about it. So it's just, I don't know, man. I really hope they figure it out. I want DC to do well. I want Ra's al Ghul. I want freaking League of Assassins.
No,
I want an
the
origin story of that. I want Batman raw and gritty, getting his ass beat, learning how to be an assassin. I want his son to be an assassin. I want a Red Hood. I want freaking Jensen Atkins being him. I need it all, man. I need it all. Like, give it to me. It's right there in front of you. Just gotta grasp it, dude. Like, I want Martian Man. I want a Martian Man movie. Give us something that we don't know, like a Beast Boy movie, like a real hardcore Beast Boy movie, and what he went through. Raven and the whole
So
thing.
what you're
around
saying,
Raven is bonkers.
literally, what you're saying is the Titans TV show. You need to watch it,
Dude. I don't want, dude. Titans TV show to me, I know it's decent, but that's live theater for me. I need hardcore down, like starting, ending, where we can learn we can flesh out the characters, love them, and then go through all DC drama and kill off people, because that's what makes DC is the brutal honesty and the hardcore grittiness of Gotham and what's involved.
Yeah.
Dude, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is still the best Catwoman because her story was raw. Like that story was heartbreaking. And that's the type of stuff that we need. You know, it's just I don't get it, man. I still to this day think who was it, Michael Keaton with him? Yeah. Who was it Danny DeVito?
Yeah, Danny DeVito's Penguin.
Bro,
that was the best Batman
story was jacked up, bro. Like, my God, you talking about dark? That's the DC we need. That's still my favorite Batman. We just need it.
Freaking
like,
penguins with rockets. That was hilarious, though.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that was a sad. If you go back and watch that movie and think about it, and like, that is a dark film.
It's very dark.
Yeah.
It's sad dark. I mean, even Mr. Freeze. I mean, casting, but I mean, even his story was wild.
His story is fantastic. If they flesh out a Mr. Freeze with Nora Freeze and why he's doing it, he's not really a villain, like,
he's
right?
A villain that, well, I mean, he's technically a villain.
He turns into it, but his original premise is something that you relate to.
Everybody.
Yeah.
They did you wrong. Get rid of him. Like I Poison Ivy's real story, bro. They don't know. People just don't know about that rawness that are in those dark DC comics that people take off the shelves and charge you like $30 later on to read type stuff. Like there's some dark stuff where there was a time where DC was putting these comics out and mature ratings didn't matter apparently, because my God, I was just like, this isn't a comic book. We can buy this off a shelf. What the? It was wild, man. Like they need those. Poison Ivy's story is so good.
Yeah, I would love to see that her story fleshed out with somehow coming together with Harley Quinn on screen. I think that would be fun. Like, I mean, we talk about
the raw Harley Quinn, like the stuff that they left out of the movies. Like she's jacked up. That girl, that man.
I did. You know what? I liked how they tiptoed around it in the Suicide Squad, where like how you saw her falling in love and how Joker's presence was becoming of her. But I just think it was just the movie, and I still don't see Jared Leto's Joker. Like even the cut that Ayer was supposed to put out, I still don't see it.
No,
but like that was the start of something I wish was there.
Well, I tell you what, James Gunn, Harley, I felt it.
That was fun.
That mood shift where she went from like, "Hi, I'm Harley,"
yeah,
you know, like and then like, boom, just done. Oh, okay. Yeah,
I told myself that my boyfriend, like it was sad and intense, but it was also funny at the same time, and that is a perfect Harley Quinn moment right there, and a perfect Harley Quinn writing and acting and everything.
Dude, that was I honestly felt like I finally got Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
from that movie, because when she was just getting beat up and you know she showed some pain, and then she just kind of they said the wrong thing and she just kind of snapped and was like, all right, I'm done. with the act, I'm going to just kill you all. Like literally walk through this whole thing and just destroy you and
That
show
was
you
awesome.
why I am who I am. That, man, her look where, because a lot of the time they make Harley ditzy in a lot of the iterations of Harley Quinn in the books and stuff. But the mastermind that this girl, I mean, there's novels, you know, about Gotham and stuff like that you can read that really go in depth of people's like the Riddler is scary and it's really weird that we haven't gotten that Riddler yet. Scarecrow is even worse. Like
Scarecrow,
one of the most scary villains
in
DC, and they don't really hit those tones yet. Like, man, I his childhood was messed up too. Like all these people in Gotham just got messed up childhoods. Like they're all suffering. They all need, man. I want to see the therapist have to work with them. It's wild.
It's, but, you know, we talk about we want to see DC go dark. We want to see DC go dark. Yeah. It's because their characters are dark, and it's because we talk. It all revolves around Batman. Batman literally has the best rogues gallery. He has the best sidekicks. He has the best heroes or anti-heroes with him. As much as I love Superman, I mean, Doomsday is great, but it's one story and one bad guy. Brainiac is a good story as well, but it's okay. So two there. Deathstroke is Batman, right? Lex Luthor is an evil genius. You can't do against Superman. You have to do what Superman and Lois is doing on the TV series. So if you want to see a good Superman story, I highly recommend Superman and Lois on the it's not WB anymore, CW. But even Green Arrow is tied into Ra's al Ghul now, and
Green
that
Arrow
role
is literally Bruce Wayne with blonde hair at the end of the day.
Deathstroke,
yeah,
it's all revolves around Batman, and I think who said it? Nightshade said it. Batman's the absolute character. DC would collapse if he doesn't get a film. I agree to some extent with what I just said, but they don't have to overdo it. Let me
tell you how they can do it. You build up the world around Batman, and then you introduce Batman. We've had it opposite too long.
Yeah,
we've built Batman and then fleshed out the world. You need to flesh the world out around him and show the Quarter Owls. If there was a Quarter Owls movie, bro, I'd be there in a heartbeat. You don't have to tell me nothing.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, League of Assassins movie. The world around how powerful Ra's al Ghul is and why he's such a major standpoint and he's involved in so many people's lives and that he's not really that bad of a guy with he goes about it the wrong way, but his thoughts are kind of true. So if we could flesh that out, and Bane, the story of Bane, people make Bane look out to be like a monster, but he's got a point. Got a point to what he wants. I mean, Bane is there for the what is prison reform and stuff like that. And then there's a big story about how he's trying to pull people off the street and give them a purpose, but it might not be the right thing, but he's got something there. I think if you build up Gotham and then center on a Batman based around those stories, we'd get something that we can stick with. There's a reason why we can't stick with a real Batman story, because all of them either get abandoned or they just don't hit. I know I'm about to get crap, but I like Dark Knight series. I thought they were great. I thought it was a great standpoint. It was a great way to build up Joker. It was a great way to bring about some real things that are happening around Gotham. But then we have all these other shows and movies that are just changing out the lore, and then we don't know what's canon anymore. We don't know who's canon anymore. It's a little much, but I don't know.
I had to look this up really quick, and they have something perfect with HBO Max, and they could do what Marvel is doing and have movies go into TV like they're doing with John Cena's Peacemaker TV series with James Gunn coming out of the Suicide Squad. Matt Reeves has their Batman series coming out, but if I just read it directly, it just is around Gotham PD. It's not about Batman. Robert Pattinson isn't in it. It's just to tie in his movie.
They need a roadmap. They need to just do phases like Marvel's doing. Say, hey, here's the world map. We're gonna focus on this world, this character first. Building out Iron Man first, and then introducing Nick Fury. And then introducing Widow, but not be about Widow. It was just such a great incline. Like it was just so good. It was easy to follow. And right now, DC's like, we gotta do Aquaman movie. We gotta do a Batman movie. We need to bring them all together. Avengers is doing so good, shit. Like, don't play catch up anymore. Just forget about it. Do what you do well. Like Suicide Squad is a great starting point. Start there. At this point,
and you gotta believe that these heads, or you hope that these heads at Warner Brothers sat James Gunn down to be like, give us the secret sauce. What is working? What is going on with Marvel? There has to be that conversation. Like, you hope, believe it, but from everything you're seeing now, maybe next week while we're on the show, or I don't know, we got to figure that out, I guess, next week. But hopefully the next show that we have, whether it's next week or the week after, with DC fandom, hopefully it's a celebration, because we already know a couple of things that they're going to announce and talk about. I believe there's going to be a lot of things that we don't know about that they're going to announce and talk about. And, you know, from video games with Gotham Knights, which will have a Quarter Owl story in it, which excites me because I love that story, as you just said it. Suicide Squad and Justice League, Kills of the Justice League, video game-wise. TV-wise, we're going to get the more James Gunn TV show, Matt Reeves Batman TV show, Justice League.
Idris Elba is in talks with series as well.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fantastic.
That's really good.
And then all the movies that we talked about, plus ones that we probably don't even know about, I hope we'll get really good information from it. I know we're going to get another Batman trailer. You know, we're going to get Black Adam information, which I hope when we come back on, we'll have a great conversation around that. So, you know, there's a lot of hope. Let's just hope that it's the right hope when we come back.
And to clear up what I mean by, I think Gotham was all over the place. I don't think Gotham. I think Gotham is a nice parallel universe, whatever the heck you want to say. But what I mean by building up the world around Batman is like characters outside of the Batman sphere that we constantly get in these movies. Like we need a Poison Ivy movie. A Mr. Freeze series or something, or you can even combine those two together, or Catwoman. Like, she's such a big iconic person, and she deserves justice of her movies. She deserves justice. So, like, you know, or even go further than that and dive into the villains' minds. You know, I think a League of Assassins movie would be perfect, because it's literally that one point that can tie in young Bruce. It can tie in Green Arrow. It can tie in Robins and everything. Like it's literally that starting point at the bottom. Ra's al Ghul is the seed that branches out into trees that involves everybody's life. We keep saying Batman, but it's really him.
They got they got so much money invested in these slate of films that at least that we know of. Leading up to Black Adam and I guess the next one that we know of, Aquaman 2, since they either just finished production or still mid-production. But as a fan, I know they would never do it just because of how much money is sunk in. But if they literally just, after a movie or started out, no movies after Aquaman, and we're just starting fresh, like if they did that,
that's the announcement I'm hoping for.
Like that would be everything.
Pull the curtain down. Canon number 1. Yeah. Like, that's all I need to know. And I'm like, all right, let's follow it. Let's give it another try. Let's see where we're going with it.
Rip it all down, tear yourself down to build yourself up, right? Yeah. That's what they do.
From DC. Let's be real. Yeah. There's people are so in love with Marvel's actually at this point helping DC, because people are more patient.
Yeah,
with comic books, because they're already happy. DC could literally just start completely over and say, "Hey guys, we know we threw a lot at you. We found a formula that works.
Yeah,
this is canon. Robert Pattinson, canon. He's young enough. He can stick around for a long time. Make him canon. Shoot, whatever. Shoot for it. Shoot for the moon. You know, it's just so much there. The cast. They just need a casting director that knows what they're doing. I think they nailed it with Suicide Squad. I think that's a great start.
Yeah,
keep going. I'm interested in. I wonder if David Bautista and all those people. I wonder if they're gonna. They said they love James Gunn so much they follow him. I wonder if they're gonna actually follow him. Like, I wonder if we're gonna see them in.
David Bautista would be a fantastic Bane.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. absolutely. Yeah, he already looks like Bane.
Yeah,
it's absolutely. And you know, he doesn't want his shirt off, and you don't have to do it. So like, it's like. There you go. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited.
And look towards Star Wars too. There was so much canon, and they just came in at one point and said, "We got to simplify shit. Here's this, here's
and
that,"
it was successful.
And they restarted everything, and now they're starting to branch off. And certain things are canon, certain things aren't. They're kind of figuring their way still, but like Star Wars fans, I mean, I'm sure Kevin and Tim can talk about it and have talked about it on Star Wars and Scotch, but there are things that they like, there are things that they don't like, but they have faith because of what's coming out at that point, because they restarted and started to go back on that upwards pattern instead of, I said it before, just all over the place.
Yeah. The DC has this problem. It's literally playing catch up. I think they need to get rid of that mindset of playing catch up. They don't have to. There's so much ammo there for them to work with. They don't have to play catch up anymore. And the thing about Star Wars is High Republic is going to be a fresh. I can't wait till we get the first High Republic movie. I can't wait to see that universe coming alive in a TV series, whatever they decide to do, because we can finally get rid of Skywalkers. Yay!
Yeah.
You know, like get them out of there. We love them, but we want more lightsabers and we want more like blades and stuff. And that's why we'll get into we're kind of behind, but Star Wars Visions, the duel. That shit was so fresh.
So God good, damn. Man.
If you haven't seen it yet, please do yourself. You don't even have to watch any other Visions. Just watch that first episode. Like, honestly, because that thing right there set in motion. The funny thing about Visions, the duel, was that people hated the idea of samurai, Jedi, and Sith. They hated. They tore that asunder. The next day... we want more. Like, no other episode matters. Like, it was the fun. I was watching Kevin because he was the number one person. I said, I wonder how he feels about this. He said, I don't know about this. I don't know. Came back, man. That was awesome. I don't care about any other scene. This one's awesome.
I loved following his Twitter. I loved following his Twitter that day as he was going through each episode and kind of giving us his breakdown and his thoughts on it. That was absolutely incredible. But I also loved his critiques on it too, because was it episode... the very cartoony episode with the brother and sister.
Very anime,
he's like, that's not how space works. I was like, this is factual. But like, I understand that. I'm of the person like, it's cartoon, it's whatever. But that's how he is with Star Wars. That's how Tim is with Star Wars.
He's a hardcore,
like if it's opposite
lover.
with me with like Superman, I would probably be in the same boat saying that's not how that works. Why are you doing that? But I love the breakdown and his thoughts and critiquing of each one. But as far as Visions itself, I loved how it was produced. I love how they gave their studios, their directors, their writers, their voice actors essentially carte blanche in doing whatever the heck they wanted to. That the duel episode was. I'm gonna actually.
Japanese or English.
You're gonna hate me for this one. I can't do subbed.
Rewatch it in Japanese since you already know what's happening.
I've heard that the way my mind works, because words are hard, I can't
don't even
do.
read it, though.
I know.
Just watch it.
Just watch it and just listen.
You already know what happens. Just watch. I'm telling you, man. Worlds apart.
Inflections and just everything hit different. Right?
Oh, it's. like honestly, like, you know the story. If you just watch it in Japanese, it'll literally make you go,
okay,
whoa.
Did you
the Sith? I mean, well, they're both Sith, but you know the lady. Oh my god, dude. Oh my, I was like, oh baby, you know, like, this is great. Like, this is some good stuff. It was the style of it all, man. I want that canon. I wanted it. Well, apparently it is canon, right? I guess. I want that.
Did they say that it was canon?
I don't know. They're making it into a series. I'm only going to guess that they're going to make it canon. Because I mean, it's all different universes at the end of the day. Different galaxy, another galaxy far, far away. Blah blah blah. But I hope so, because there's so much there. I had so many questions at the end of the day. I was just like, okay, what, why, when, who, legendary? Why are Jedi's legendary? Why are Sith just walking around wandering? What the hell's going on? Collecting gems? Why? Like, there were so many questions, and it...
Dude, speaking of so many questions, the Ninth Jedi. That was another fantastic episode with the Sith infiltrating. I haven't seen
any of the other ones. I just saw Duel.
Okay. So
there's no point.
There's no point. It's like, this is it.
But the Duel was just like, I was like, I'm afraid to be disappointed. Like, I was like, I gotta get off my high. I was on a high for like 2 weeks on the duel because the duel was just fantastic.
Yeah.
But it got me hyped for the fact that they're not afraid to try new things.
Yeah. This is a real branch out.
Umbrella, bro. Like that was sick. Like it was sick.
That was
and when
so
she took
cool.
her sword out and it pulled the plug, man, that was sick.
That was awesome.
Oh, so good. So good. And I really love the fact that character, well, you can say both of our main characters, but our wanderer, so to speak, let's just call him that, wasn't ultra badass. He got his ass kicked, but he improvised. And that was dope to me because one thing that suffered in Star Wars so much, especially in the movies and stuff, but not the books, in the movies, is that one or the other was always you knew who was gonna win the moment they slapped swords, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
And it was just so one-sided. This was like, okay, this dude's getting his ass whooped. This is kind of scary. And then he improvised, and I was like, that's great. It was like he knew that this person he's fighting is equally skilled, maybe even better.
She was a better fighter, but he was smarter.
Yeah, he was smarter. Yeah,
I love that.
She was overly cocky, and we saw it. We knew it. And she fed off that. She did not like the fact that somebody was on par with her, and then that was something that she was not gonna live with, and she didn't.
Yeah.
So it's like
true.
It's so good, man. Oh, it was so classic, so great. And it honestly, that's the type of love that Darth Maul deserves. And now why a lot of people are still hurt what they did with Darth Maul. And any other quote unquote, I don't want to say villain, but anti-hero in Star Wars, they just didn't get the justice they deserve.
Yeah.
I would even say Vader didn't even get the justice he deserved. So it's just like maybe with this High Republic move,
I think
and how
Vader
everything is going, maybe we'll finally jump into that mode. I think Mandalorian and stuff is great. It's starting to get people hyped about things. Clone Wars is even like, I think seeing a jump in on hits on Netflix or whatever it was. No, Disney, excuse me. Because of Mandalorian, people want to know more. And this is good. This is great.
Yeah, and you know, you brought up Vader. Yeah, obviously we have the Kenobi series coming out. It's going to be interesting because at the end of episode 3, leading up to episode 4, they're supposedly supposed to have interaction, Vader and Obi, but apparently they've said that there's going to be stuff in there. Like he's already part of it. We know it because in casting that he is part of it. Yeah. So it's gonna like maybe Vader will get a little bit of his due that we think that we want to see out of him.
We never knew how strong Vader was. It was always assumptions.
You got a little bit of it in Rogue One at the end. That was that. I don't care. Like people said that was just fandom. I love that end scene in Rogue One where he was going ham after Leia. Like that was the Darth Vader I would love to see more of, because the old school Vader that we saw was not like that. He was just
afraid of him. They knew he was scary. You know. But the Vader in the books, man, goes ham to the point where he's plotting the whole time that, as every Sith should, take down his leader. You know, so that's all I'll leave it at. You should definitely read the books because, man, like the plotting, the mind behind Vader, and it all rolls down to somebody that's just heartbroken at the end of the day. And it just shows how much, because let's just be real, Star Wars is a big old soap opera.
That's absolutely.
That's what it is. That's what it was intended to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it all boils down to this one man letting love overthrow him, and he's willing to take down everybody in the universe for revenge for his love. So it's really interesting to read how things come together and how he plays like he's dumb and he plays like he doesn't have memory of anything, especially when it comes to Palpatine and stuff, and how he knows what's going on and shit. I really want to, oh my God, I want a Star Killer series so goddamn bad. Oh God. Star Killer is like one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe that never got his justice. Got it kind of in the video games, a little bit in the book more than anything.
Is he canon?
Man, what a goddamn cool character. We still don't there's no closure on Star Killer. We don't even know if he's really a clone or not. We just don't know. There's no closure. Every time they say, okay, he's this, they always flip it around and be like, maybe not. You know,
it's like, is it canon? Is he canon?
He was. I don't know if he still is anymore.
Does anyone know, chat? Someone get Kevin on the line.
You know how they flipped up everything upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he's, because obviously they're going with a lot of canon stuff, or they are bringing things in that are canon that aren't. So that could be a potential. Did you like, because it wasn't full episodes, maybe Did you like that this was the first Disney Plus series that came out and it wasn't that it was a dumping of all the episodes and not you could binge it and it wasn't one episode a week?
You want Visions?
Yeah, Visions.
For what it is, yes.
Yeah, because it was like I think the longest episode was maybe 20 minutes. It was more like 10 to 15. Yeah.
For what it was, yes, because it was more of a sex, love, and robots type thing to me, to where it was like different stories that kind of,
thank you, Lars,
made you look around and think about what if this, that, and the other. It was like a what if. It was literally like a what if, and it's almost like the what if directors and Visions came together and was like, yeah, we're gonna do these series to make people think and see how they react off it and then build off it. I literally feel like that's what it was. It was like it was almost like pilots that you would pitch to a TV to pick up.
Oh yeah.
That's what it looked like.
It was
to
like
me.
pitches, yeah.
But it was for us. It was like,
for us,
all right, let's see how people see. Do big. They were like, TV series, we got it. we found it. So it's just like, I think it was one of those things. That's why the episodes were so short. Same thing with Love, Sex, and Robots, or whatever it was called.
Yep.
Murder, Love, and Robots, or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, the Netflix one. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's the same thing with that. It's like, let's throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Let's do a season 2. If it does, we'll do break-off series. Like, I'm down with it, man.
Yeah,
he was canon, but he's not currently canon. Correct. Yeah, that's that, because they flip things upside down. Like, even Old Republic's not canon anymore, and that pisses me off because Old Republic is awesome. It's a story that makes sense. Anyway, let me start on that.
Well,
tangent.
I mean, now they're making the remake, and they're completely is it a remake or? I mean, you got Knights of the Old Republic. So that, I mean, anything that that's a
remaster type thing.
No, but they're redoing it completely. So it's not a remaster, it's a remake. So there's going to be new elements to it. So if that is canon, that should be canon at least.
I think it's more of a
like what they said. Where was it?
Let's just say hopefully.
Sleek Lemur asked the question
that Lucas or somebody at Lucasfilms or in studios said that whatever they do now is canon. So I know that was said, but whatever said and what they go with, they've said a lot.
So here's Sleek Lemur, he does a bunch of stuff. Awesome guy. So he actually tweeted Kevin earlier. Like, this is where it gets fishy. They said that everything moving forward is canon, right?
Yes.
But then things aren't canon still. So like so if the book that is being written about the duel, Kevin, would that make it canon or still no? Not necessarily. So it's like, it's still a lot of muddied water. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like they're playing this game where what Marvel did, and it's they're throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. If people have a big hype meter about it, they'll be like, okay, it's canon.
Yeah,
and
let's
then
do
they
it.
can
And
form
it's
something
canon
around it. Because at the moment, people were just so upset with how they ended Star Wars that we know, and now I feel like they're like trying to make up for lost ground, and it's okay. This is all right, and this is just another shout out to DC. You can do this. This is fine.
Yeah.
So there was also rumors that Old Republic is going to get justice with Revan. Like, there was also that they're going to bring back Revan in a different light. It may not be the Revan we know, but he's there, and I'm just like, okay, so Bane.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, let's go where the idea of the rule of two in Sith come from. Bane, is he gonna finally get his justice due? I'm here for it. But then there's people that saying like, okay, High Republic is a different area, a different place.
Yeah.
They're gonna leave it alone. I don't know. They keep waving these stakes in front of our faces, and I honestly feel like it's like, which one is gonna make people more hype and invest? And if they invest, we'll invest. It's just what it feels like to me.
I think
Visions was the caveat.
Yeah, Visions was that test script, that test pilot that really hit it out, that says that we can go a little bit left field or right field with certain things and see what sticks. I think the other part of it too, and I brought it back a couple of weeks ago as well, is if you want to go down the darker path, it's not Mandalorian. It's not Book of Boba Fett, because these are not necessarily the Mandalorian, but at least Boba Fett, like, we know that character and we know the bounty hunters and the Mandalorians. I think the Acolytes, whenever that comes out, presumably next year, since that's a little bit different and a dark side of things, like the real dark side of things, if that does really well, I think that's where they may, or they should, really start looking about those other darker stories and really stick with the bad guys, do the storytelling of the baddies, not the the baddies.
Give me Night Sisters,
yeah.
please, because that's where it all. That's really where the Sith like power and lore like really grows. And like, man, give us the Sith planet, the actual Sith, and the man. See, there's so much there, bro. Like uncharted grounds that can literally split off. I don't know, man. I'm very mixed feelings about everything, because now I'm just like, you gave us so much, you waved so many carrots in front of our face that we were snapping at it, but then you pull it away and you forget about it.
Yeah.
But like, if the Acolytes can visit the idea of the Sith planet, what was it called? Corella Cora? I can't remember. Let me think. The Sith training grounds.
I don't know that one off the top of my head.
KOTOR? Not KOTOR. What was it? Start with a K. I can't remember. My brain right now. Korriban. I think it's that. Is it Korriban?
That sounds familiar.
I think it's Korriban. If they actually really go into the dark side of that and finding out to the ancient relics in the temple, but again, that's Old Republic. But if they rewrite it and then really push it, the idea of Sith being in the duel, if the duel is made canon, I got a lot of questions, and I'm okay with having those questions. Having like
we gotta get
Eastern influence.
We have to have a
interesting
comic and scotch episode.
We should. There's a lot of holes there.
There's so many
that
questions.
I'm okay with having, because I love the theory crafting that can happen, and I love the fact that Kevin doesn't know.
Yeah,
him being such a very avid Star Wars lover, him being in limbo is a great thing, because us being able to predict what happens, we set expectations. Now Kevin's expectations are always going to be high because it's Star Wars, but now he's more open-minded. After seeing Visions, he's probably like, huh, okay. And then like this, but this could work.
Yep.
Maybe that's I think Disney won at that point.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. The mouse has won again. We are coming to the end of the episode here. We got a couple of minutes left there, chat. So as far as some housekeeping goes, we will be next week? Question mark?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. No, do you, because you said it at the beginning. Do you have that thing or not that thing? Because that's fandom.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Okay, we'll let you know. We'll let you know during the week, regardless.
More
chat,
than likely. I think they're sending me a bunch of stuff, kit stuff. I don't know if I'm doing. I know it's something sponsored, something, but I have to look. I can't really talk about it either, so I don't. I have to look at stuff. This is why I need management. Okay.
So yeah, we're bringing this episode to the end, ladies and gentlemen. We got DC fandom next week. We got What If episode season finale we'll dive into. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, go check that out. Make sure you're able to see it. There's going to be more news and rumors out there in the world. It's a whole lot of fun time to be a comic fan and be a superhero fan and be a fan of everything in general, right? Yep, if you have any questions, if you have any questions, let us know. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your
tell people
ex-roommate.
That's interested in comics to watch the show.
Every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Frank, what do you got going on for the rest of the week? New World, cool. GG's.
I wish it was that simple. I mean, as of today, I'm gonna get back on right after this to play some New World and then take a break, and then we got Back 4 Blood stuff. We have Back 4 Blood sponsor stream on the 12th for release. Jesus, man, I'm going day by day. It's a lot of stuff. It just come by the channel. Mondays I try to take off unless there's something really hype going on. Other than that, I'm pretty much live early in the morning. I'm an early bird streamer now, so 6 a.m. Every Monday through Thursday, actually Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Split streams on weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We split up. We are in early in the morning streams, and then we do like a 3 or 4 hour stream at night for a comfy stream. And Mondays are off. That's on twitch.tv/technique. This is the Twitterals down here, so do follow on Twitter. And if anybody wants to shoot me if you find out some stuff that we may not know of, or if you have questions and want us to research, feel free to add me on Twitter. Just be like, hey man, Tech, we found out some cool stuff, man. What do you think about this? And then I always answer is if I can, if I see it. So, but yeah, that's where you can find me. We have a lot going on. Come by. Check it out. Have some fun. We have we have new animated emotes.
Nice.
My emotes, I finally got them animated.
Kudos, man. Kudos. It's nice to have that here on Twitch. It's like they're giving more stuff to the creators with everything that's going on. But yeah. Yeah, I got it. Okay. We had an awesome show here today, ladies and gentlemen. Technique, he said he streams here in the morning, got the double switches in the morning and at nights, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I stream during the week starting at about 8:30 a.m. going till about 2, playing a whole bunch of different games. You can at me at Nighthawk Plays. I'm very active on Twitter. I actually just saw with the Monica Rambeau series, there also may be, which is dope, a 10 Ring series may be coming in and being in development right now with Marvel. So a lot of, we're talking and there's literally information coming out as we speak. So make sure to be here Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your friends, tell anybody that you like with comics. We're also going to be working on some outside social media stuff for us as well to not only just directly go with us, but with the show as well. But
special guests coming up and everything.
Yeah, we got a lot of special guests coming up. Actually, these next couple of weeks are going to be really, really fun, chat. So make sure you're here for it. So I guess with that being said, boys and girls, my name is Nighthawk. His name is, well, that's actually that way. His name is Frank. This has been the Commix, and we will see you next week, boys and girls.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, guys. Make sure you tell your friends, and we'll see you next week on the mix. Have a good one, and pay attention to Twitter because, that's where we know stuff. But bye. See you later.
Twitter.